So when OPPO reached out to sponsor this video, giving us early access to their new Find N5 folding phone, they specifically asked us to test the battery life in our lab. Since while there are a lot of things that OPPO is proud of with this phone, from it being the thinnest and lightest book-style foldable to the stronger inner display and like the nearly invisible crease, it's the battery where I think they feel they have the biggest advantage. With the Find N5 not only being the first foldable to be powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, but it also has the biggest battery I've seen in a foldable at a whopping 5,600 milliamp hours. So today we are testing it against two of the most popular foldables out there in the Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Google's Pixel 9 Pro Fold to see just how much of a difference this new chip plus the extra 1,000 milliamp hours of battery can actually make. Let's get right into it. So as always, we've calibrated the screens on each phone to 200 nits, and they're all within the same range of a Wi-Fi access point in our lab. What we are doing differently this time though is we have the phones unfolded for the entirety of the test, so that way we're really taxing those bigger screens, and we've also muted the speakers across the board. Here in Chrome, we're cycling through the same set of websites and scrolling through them every 30 seconds, and because browsing is just one of those things that are so much better on a folding phone than on a bar phone, we're doing this task non-stop for 4 hours straight, where, wow, we get a huge delta in performance. The Find N5 drops down to 69, while despite having a smaller battery than the Pixel Fold, the Galaxy actually does 5 points better than it at 56% compared to the Pixel's 51. Of course, part of that could be due to the chipset differences between those phones, while part of it could just be due to the fact that the Galaxy has the smallest screen of the bunch here, which, in the context of a battery test, technically gives it an advantage. But after watching the same video on a loop for 2 hours in YouTube, the trend continues. The Find N5 with its 5,600 mAh silicon carbon battery does the best here, dropping by 9 points, with the Galaxy only doing a little bit worse with an 11-point drop, while the Pixel falls a bit further behind, with it suffering the largest 13-point drop. We'll see if the Pixel can turn things around here in Mobile Legends though, where we are doing a way more intensive gaming task than usual. We've programmed our robots to do a bunch of moves where we're really playing the game more fully than before, and we're running it in a continuous loop. Now, it's worth noting that the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip in the Find N5 has that improved GPU, which, Qualcomm says not only is more powerful than before, but it's also up to 40% more efficient. And after 2 hours of gaming, it shows. The Find N5 only dropped by 17 points compared to the much larger 29-point drop on the Galaxy and a similar 27-point drop on the Pixel. Now, obviously, a big reason for that is that the Find N5 just has that bigger capacity. But even in terms of efficiency, it also consumed less battery on an absolute level, using an estimated 952 mAh compared to the 1,276 and the 1,255 mAh used on both the Galaxy and the Pixel respectively. So as we head into the 16-hour standby, the difference is pretty big. The Find N5 is at a healthy 43%, while the Galaxy is 27 points behind it at 16, with the Pixel just hanging on with 11%. But the good news for the Pixel at least is it does the best in that standby drain, going down by only 5 points, while the Find N5 actually does the worst there with a 9-point drop. But I think it's probably too little too late for the Pixel, since I don't know if it's going to make it all the way through this Instagram test, because while it's not the most intensive test that we have, we're just scrolling through the home feed like you would in real life, we are running it for 2 hours this time to better reflect the media consumption people typically do on their foldable's main screen, where after 28 minutes, the Pixel's 4,650 mAh battery fully depletes, at which point the Galaxy still has 6% left to go, while the OPPO is at a whopping 30%. So impressive for the Galaxy to outlast the Pixel here, since it does have that smaller battery, and it just goes to show you the efficiency that Samsung has put into their phones. But at least compared to the Find N5 with its way bigger battery and its new chip, it's just no match, with the Galaxy giving out after 1 hour and 2 minutes into Instagram, at which point the OPPO still has 26% left to go. So there you have it, a huge win for the Find N5 here, which at this point I'm just curious to see how long it can go, where it's able to finish Instagram with 19% left to go before heading into Disney Plus, where we're watching a downloaded movie zoomed in to take up the entire screen here, where it's able to make it all the way through this 2-hour test as well, with 6% still remaining, meaning it goes on to the second game in Alto's adventure, which isn't anywhere near as intensive as Mobile Legends was, but still it does tax the chipset, where after 20 minutes into this game, the Find N5 finally gives out, bringing its total time to an impressive 28 hours and 20 minutes, or a full 3 hours of active screen time longer than the other two, which I think is pretty incredible given that this phone is both lighter and thinner than them. Anyways, that is it for me in this video. Big thanks to OPPO for sending the phone out early to us and sponsoring it. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.